Factorization by grouping, or also known as group factorization. For a group factorization question, you always have expression containing 4 terms. Okay, that's typical of group factorization questions. And you will notice that all the terms cannot be added or subtracted. You cannot simplify them. So the steps are like this. First, you divide the terms into 2 groups or 2 pairs. Example, we have ax plus ay plus bx plus by, right? So let's go for ax plus ay, bx plus by. Then you factorize each pair. Now, ax plus ay, you can see that the common factor is a. So you have a bracket x plus y. This is how you factor the first pair. And b bracket x plus y. Now, this is very important and many students miss this. And it is that there is a plus relationship between the two. After you factorize the first pair, you factorize the second pair, there is a sign in between the first two. It could be plus or it could be minus. In this case, it is plus. Okay, so don't forget this sign is very important. And you identify a new common factor. Okay, so you can see over here, you have x plus y in the first group, and you have an x plus y in the second group. This is the new common factor. You will factor out the new common factor, which is x plus y, and what's left behind is your a plus b. A plus b. So you always end with the product of 2 expressions. So you have one expression here, one expression here, and they are in the multiplication relationship. Example 5, group factorization or factorization by grouping. So here we're going to factorize each of the following. And you see this is the very easy question. Okay, it's all positive. It's always the signs that make it difficult, right? And if it is all positive, then you know that you have an easy question. Okay, and you see that you put them into pairs, 5x plus 5y. The common factor here is 5, and then you have bracket x plus y. And here, a is a common factor, so you have plus a, you factor out a positive a, and you have an x plus y here. The new common factor is x plus y, so you will factor it out. And you have a 5 plus a, that's left behind, right? Yeah, and that's it. That's part A done. Part B, it's a bit more tricky, but it's not a problem. We group them into first 2 pairs and second 2 pairs, okay? Now, let's look here. We have 3, 9, so the common factor is 3. PP, so we have P is a common factor as well. X, Y not common, okay? So if you take out 3p from the first term, and then you're left with x minus, now you took out 3, so you're left with 3. P is gone, you're left with y. Now, before you even factorize the second pair, you expect to see an x minus 3y in there. Because if you don't, then you will not be able to factorize it a second time, right? You need a new common factor, which has got to be this x minus 3y. So we work towards this objective, but we don't just write it down first. Let's have a look at this. We have a negative term, a positive term, right? And then you have the x, the y. Now, you can kind of see the x minus 3y here already, except that, wait a minute, the sign is kind of opposite, right? The x is negative, the y is positive. But here the x is positive, the y is negative, it's opposite. So I know that I have to factor out the negative sign. For 12, I factor out a 4. And there's a q here, it has to come out as well. Okay, negative 4q comes out, you're left with the x. This positive term, you factor out a negative sign here, and it's negative now. Okay, so you have 3y here. There you go, our new common factor, x minus 3y as anticipated. So now you can factorize it again. You have x minus 3y, bracket 3p minus 4q. Okay, so this is important here. You have to factor out the negative sign, because if you don't, then you will not have a new common factor, right? And then you won't be able to proceed to the next step. So this is 3p minus 4q. Part C, we have ax minus ay plus xy minus x squared. Okay, so this is a little bit different in the sense that you have this x squared term, but it's the same. So we identify our first pair, it is ax minus ay. We factorize it. We factor out the a, and you have x minus y. So again, before we factor this, we are going to expect an x minus y here. Okay, let's just factor out the positive sign. Okay, let's try this first. Okay, x is the common factor, and you will have y minus x here. See, x minus y, y minus x. Please do not continue ahead with this because x minus y is not the same as y minus x. They are negatives of each other, in fact. So what you do is, okay, if you ever get here, you just factor out the negative sign so that you have negative x, and then this two will swap places. Okay, the negative x becomes positive, the y becomes negative. Okay, because you factor out the negative sign here. Okay, now we have our new common factor, x minus y, and that's going to be x minus y bracket a minus x. Alright, part D, 15mx minus 2ny minus 3nx plus 10my. At the first look, you realize that, hey, 15mx and minus 2ny have no common factors at all. But if you look carefully, 15mx and negative 3nx, there's common factor. 2ny and 10my, there's common factor. Okay, so I'm just going to rearrange the terms to get 15mx minus 3nx. I'll put this third term to the second place. Minus 2ny plus 10my. Okay, now the problem is solved. We have common factors. Okay, just a bit of rearrangement will do. Now let's factorize. 15mx minus 3nx. 3 is a common factor. X is a common factor. So here, you take out 3, you're left with 5m minus, okay, 3x is gone, you have n here. So you expect to see 5m minus n on the other side, right? Okay, now the m term is positive. Yes, it is positive, but it's at the last place, right? I'm going to put it in front. It's the same sign, so I don't have to factor out some negative. I'm going to factor out positive. So this 10 here and 2, I'm going to factor out a 2. Okay, y has to come out as well. So now I'm going to write this term here first. 10, I took out 2, I'm left with 5. Y came out, m is left behind. Okay, now the y and the 2 came out, I'm left with minus n. Yup, I have my new common factor, 5m minus n. So last step, 5m minus n times this 3x plus 2y, and that's it. That's part D. Part E, we have a minus 5b plus 9x 5b minus a. Now the brackets are there for a reason, okay? And if you look carefully, they are like kind of same but different. Okay, a minus 5b, 5b minus a. They are negatives of one another, which means to say that you can't yet factorize them as a new common factor, but you just need to do a small thing and there'll be common factors already. So what you're going to do is, okay, I'm just going to leave this alone, a minus 5b. And if I factor out a negative sign, okay, I'm going to do it slowly here so that you can see. If I factor out the negative sign from this 5b minus a, then the a is going to become positive, isn't it? Because the negative sign is taken out. So I'm going to write a here. And I swap the order as well, okay? 5b is positive, but you factor out a negative sign, it becomes negative. Okay, so now this negative sign, I can bring it outside actually, and it's the same thing. Okay, so plus minus is minus. You have 9x, and you have this bracket here, a minus 5b. Aha, now we have the new common factor, a minus 5b is the same. And we can complete the factorization. Bearing in mind that this is a 1 here, a minus 5b times 1. Okay, otherwise you wouldn't know what to do. So a minus 5b is the new common factor, and you have 1 minus 9x. Okay, that's your part E. Part F, 3b minus a bracket squared minus 7 times 3b minus a. So again, you see this 3b minus a just right there, isn't it? But you have a square here, so what does that mean? Well, a square means that you have 3b minus a multiplied by itself twice. So if I write it out like this, and you can see it more clearly, that okay, we have two of this, and I just take one of them, it's a common factor with the other one. Okay, then you can do it quite easily now. It's just 3b minus a, the common factor is taken out, and you have 3b minus a minus 7. Alright, that's it. You give it a try. Share with me what questions you have in the comment section below. Please like this video if you have enjoyed it. Hit the bell button and subscribe. Thanks and see you in the next video.